Here we go, Tom. We're kicking off the pistol. SuperMassive Blaze picking up the pace on that mid push. They really want to get in there. cNed already going to use up that dash to get out of there. BONECOLD probably wants to do the same pretty soon. In fact, that's why the star goes down. He'll just pull it right on back. Doesn't want to waste it, of course.
Yeah, they've managed to clear out some of the early control, but the fact is Acend are safe from a split onto the A site because of the early wall. So it almost has to just be a little bit of a slowdown from SuperMassive Blaze, trying to bait out some of those early positions. You can see the turret uses a bait and switch, and it's that right click to just take pAura's head clean off.
A nice shot to open things up. He's going to go back and re-aggress yet again, but so many players pursuing him. He needs help and doesn't have it. Cleanly shut down. Now it's time to look towards the site where cNed is quickly connecting one to Turko, making this a little bit more difficult. He's a little bit cautious of getting spammed down. Star zone, not quite feeling the same caution.
Do they expect? They don't expect it. They don't expect. They don't check. That could have been everything, but actually Zeke's only going to get one. It does give time though, and that's the main thing that's needed at the moment for Acend. Already going to put down another grab. Well, the peak coming back in, and it's just not going well for Brave. It's BONECOLD to close things out in the pistol, and a few cheeky little set plays from Acend to win them the round.
They're talking about win conditions for Acend. Obviously, they're starting on the defense here, and that is their choice. You want to see them clock up a couple of rounds, but building on the momentum of the previous map could be absolutely huge for them if they can manage to make that happen. You could start to really make SuperMassive Blaze feel boxed in, like this was a mistake. This was not the map that they wanted to fight on, but you have to be realistic then and continuously hammer home the point that this is SuperMassive Blaze's map, and a pistol loss won't really deter them, although they are most likely going to lose this one as well, as they come in with some very weak pistols. And I love it, Zeek. Let's get more of that.
It's not quite the Odin, but I think we know it's coming. If he's doing that already with an Ares, it's not something that you will commonly not do with some of the other weaponry.
Well, that wasn't a fun fight, and they've lost the second player. This is already getting into pretty dangerous territory for Acend, not just in terms of losing the round, but economy as well. You really don't want to be losing this many players. They're looking over towards the A side here. SuperMassive Blaze creeping in towards heaven. They have only got the 2 players to work with. The weapons are very weak, but one more kill here, Tom, and that will be a huge blow to Acend.
Oh, I think they might have overplayed it a little bit, trying to find themselves a duel, but the fact is crossing past this angle is going to be nigh on impossible, and they're trying to basically just find where on earth these remaining Acend players are actually going to be. The fact is, though, with Russ able to get himself the sniper, have that Marshall, he wanted to try and bang the longer range duel. Instead, though, it's going to be the Ares to close it out. It's not perfect for Acend. I think they would have wanted it a little bit cleaner, but 3 players is not bad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, 2-0 is what it is. You get a couple of weapons. Sure, you're probably going to have a player or 2 on pistols coming into this one. Looking at what they've got to work with as well, you know, the ideal scenario here would be that cNed was a little more involved in some of those fights, that he'd have that Blade Storm close to peeking over, but instead they're going to have to take out that Sheriff on Kiles. Spectres in play for Starzone BONECOLD. They know that the likelihood is they lose this round. They just want to make sure they keep the money over. Problem is, as I said, cNed investing up, he's not going to be able to... He's not going to be able to get his Blade Storm by next round.
Yeah, either if he gets his Blade Storm, then he's won them the round. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah,
like, he would have to get enough kills, or maybe get 4 and die. That would be fine as well, but the chances are you're just going to be taking it over the line if that's the case. So it's unlikely to be happening, but we'll see how costly he can make this one and maybe give them an opportunity to try and grab an ultimate orb in the next round.
Couldn't quite get over the wall there with the drone. If it had him, that could have been nice, spotting out a second player in mid. Instead, they slow it down a little bit, but they don't get a whole lot in terms of reward for that drone committed. For the 400 credits that it costs, it is a pretty chunky bit of utility to be investing into. pAura dropping down the turret. It's broken from further away, allowing BONECOLD to catch them by surprise, but even while being pulled, pAura is able to take down one. Now, dealing with the turret just in time as well with 29 HP left. That could have gotten scary. These fights are never going to be ideal for Acend with the weaker weapons. Oh, a
don't know if they'll expect russ to be here. Oh, it's a little bit of a whiff, and Kiles actually finds another one off his utility on the site. This now becomes a really dangerous scenario for SuperMassive Blaze. They're going to use the paranoia just to hold the remaining players back, give them an opportunity to get a plant and stick it down. But the problem is, they're re-aggressing already. The push coming through. Kiles gets his third kill of the round. It's left all onto one, and cNed will close it. This was a round where they started with just one rifle, and they managed to win it.
I think we painted the picture, Tom. They shouldn't have been able to take that across the line. They had a pistol, 2 Spectres and Ares. I mean, realistically, this was a round that Acend knew that they were going to lose, and yet still they come out on top. And really, it's this play from Kiles, grabbing the Nano Swarm frag onto pAura, then quickly delivering a second and even going in for 3 on the site. A gorgeous round, a hero round from him, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
Well, yeah, but it was that initial damage. Like, although the gravity well didn't do much in terms of the actual kill, it weakened enough that the turret almost kills off pAura, and then the extra utility is there to close him out as well. The problem now, though, is that pAura's on a pistol, and this man is incredibly good with this gun. cNed, he takes 2 to at least keep it even, but there's now some guns to be had.
That's the problem. The fact that you have a decision to make now, and they've made it. They're closing the door. They're saying, hey, you guys go take that gun. We don't care. We're going to look elsewhere to find those openings, and it's starxo who's pushed all the way up behind the middle players. That means the spike is now trapped. I mean, getting out of here is impossible for Turko without taking a fight. He's already spotted up starxo and taken him down. Okay, this now gets scary. Acend have a man disadvantage. Zeek, as much as I love the Odin, it's not really what you want if you're retaking a site a lot of the time. SuperMassive Blaze have all the control and a lot of the weaponry.
It's a weird scenario. The fact that Turko spins that and manages to find the kill. The problem being, though, is they've got to try and gamble out the space. Now, they know that there's a turret close, so if that ever turns off even for a second, they'll run towards the A side because they know that Kiles will have left. Instead, though, he now peeks in and spots, okay, there's somebody at least around the A area, so they're getting information off those turrets, and they may not necessarily expect Zeek to be this committed into B.
But they've definitely heard the drone over there on the B side, so Zeek will maintain his position. The problem is when that recon comes through, it kind of gives it away. There's someone on the site, 12 seconds left. They need the plant and they need it now. They're coming right into the Odin. They might not even know it's in play just yet. He's got basically a full mag to play with plenty of bullets to take them down, and they run into the spray. Absolutely no way. That is a round 1 for Acend, 4-0. A bigger blow than they would have liked to have taken, losing 3 players to what was a Sheriff buy from SuperMassive Blaze, but they have continued the win streak, and that's exactly what they need, that momentum coming into their opponent's map pick.
Well, this has been the problem now for SuperMassive Blaze. They've had a few rounds, even looking back to the last map, where I go, you could have and maybe should have won that. Like, you gave yourself the openers, you got yourself those extra weapons, and I think it's just been the patience of Acend. They've not over-aggressed, they've not taken too many risks, and they've just sat back and gone, okay, we're going to wait for you to make your move and make a play, and it's never really come out. Maybe just a little bit too hesitant.
I love that we've got Bane in the replay.
The slow-mo.
Spark is down. Well, we're looking in towards this A site. SuperMassive Blaze are as well. They're full committing to it. A late lurk by pAura coming in through middle as they claim the site and now look for the plant, but in comes cNed. Gonna make it at least a little bit costly. There's absolutely no way that this player steps up above. He's challenged cNed, and he's received exactly what you'd expect. Another cNed just keeps on going. 3 kills with the off, a tag into another, and this is getting scary with just 1 down below, trapped in. Russ needs to make something happen while pAura is making the short play, lurking out, trying to find space, but cNed picks up 4, a classic to close out the round, and a 5th on the board for the defenders. We talked about this map as SuperMassive Blaze dominating, that we expected them to come through and slap Acend in similar fashion to what we saw on the first map, but now Acend already have 5 rounds on the board. They're already doing as well as Blaze did over on Bind.
That's one of those rounds as well where you almost have to look at it and go, okay, yeah, he's cNed. He is cNed. He'll do these sort of things. But how does he get this many opportunities? They brought back Izzy. He definitely knew he was there, and he still manages to go through and just do this much damage to the remaining players, all just trying to take him out. And, well, if you're going to give cNed those duels, he's going to win them every single time. I think that's just a complete overface.
Yeah, oh, most definitely. The jump up, I didn't believe it was going to come through from Brave, but I guess he thought the birthday look was with him. Nice shot, cNed again punishing, getting the trades back. He's on for a second, and now he's aggressing in. He's being revealed though, up in the corner. The updraft, not quite getting him out of there as safely as he would have hoped. The heal just about saves him, popping him back up onto basically full HP. Good tag. Oh, it's the kill as well. Zeek doing damage, covering cNed's retreat. Shock darts are coming in. The Odin is here to play, and SuperMassive Blaze yet again are looking down in the dumps.
Wherever they go, they see his face. he's almost waiting for them.
cNed A, go B. cNed B, go A.
Yeah, it's like, where do you go to escape this man? It just seems like it's not possible. And even if they do manage to take him out, there's been other players for Acend so far in this map.
They think he's still in the corner. They shock darted it. They're going back to check their flank. And what are they going to find? They're going to find cNed. But in fact, they do find him. They take him down. This is a pretty good position to play from. Zeek jump spotting. I mean, he could even be taken down. The timing is right. 1 versus 1 on the site. Good damage. Turko delivers a 3rd kill of the round, though. He's not going to have the res online. But it is a 1v1, the best chance for SuperMassive Blaze so far.
Yeah, by the looks of it as well, BONECOLD is out of stars. So for utility, he's not really going to have anything. It just comes down to the straight-up gunfight, which, well, now I think they're undisputed at the moment as the best team within the region. Gambit giving them a bit of a run for their money, but Acend have been so damn good.
Let's see what you got, Zeek. Let's see those spams coming through. Shock dart on the way, just in case someone had snuck on through. But this is going to be a slow round from SuperMassive Blaze. Now we get to see that operator battle between Izzy and cNed. The impact from cNed has been unquestionable. Yep. But now Izzy wants to show that he's the best Turkish shopper, wants to make a name for himself.
Well, yeah, they are 2 players within EMEA battling for that, right? The problem is, thus far, Izzy hasn't really shown up. He was a little bit quiet in the first map. We know that that's something of a rarity. We've got a little bit of a battle coming between the 2 of them. Oh, a good nano swarm. I think the heal might have actually kept him alive just long enough.
Great play by pAura. Yeah, from the start to the finish there. He even manages to finish off BONECOLD, not the player he was initially attempting to challenge. This is a fantastic opening. They're going to use that Killjoy lockdown to try and get in towards the site, but they're being pushed on. Oh no, still winning the duels as they go, but Kiles up on behind, able to come out of there with 2. The lockdown will still come into effect, but it gives them a man disadvantage as they come back in. starxo even has a res to play with. Now, there's no one really readily available to pop a res on. He's already used his wall, so up in heaven, he can't get that player back online. The res is out of the round. This is where SuperMassive Blaze need to turn up.
Your duty is not
He's actually resed him.
Oh, actually both players fall within a second. pAura, he's going to find himself a 4th. And it's left on to Izzy. As said, it's been a little bit rough for him so far, but this time he will land the shot. The clutch coming through for SuperMassive Blaze. But again, it's an incredibly close round.
And it's that big play by Kiles that really puts the spanner into the works. The fact that he manages to creep down middle, somewhere that definitely should have been covered much more actively. He's able to take those head peak fights, win out 2, and almost get that lockdown destroyed as well. That could have been insanely unfortunate for SuperMassive Blaze, but they clutch it back at the last second. A good opening as well. I have to say, pAura's fight onto cNed, not only did he avoid dying to him, he used his turret to try and bait him out in the first place, then he swings, takes the fight, and had his nano swarm already thrown in to stop that dash out. And a factor of 6 HP, Tom. That's, if cNed aimed 1 degree to the left when he dashed, he was dead.
Well, yeah. Then they cleared him out anyway when they went for the repeak, so they've done well over the last couple, and now actually, financially, we see Acend in the bin, but that might not matter too much. It's not necessarily an Odin or an Ares this time, but the pistol has kicked things off for Zeek. There's still the opportunity to throw in the Blade Storm as well, but both players go down within an instant. Quick couple of trades back, SMB back in the driver's seat.
This is where, okay, now they've spotted 2 players. They're still here. You know that they're stacked up, but it doesn't look like they're all too concerned, wanting to just punish them and take them down here and now. A late flank coming in from Kiles. It's being watched, or it was being watched by pAura. The S indeed, it still is. Conscious of that play, watching for the spawn as well. I mean, this is perfect. SuperMassive Blaze not giving any opportunities really for a big hero play to come through over on Acend, for the pistols to do major damage. There's the first, but that's all that they'll get. And losing 2 on attack side Acend, yeah, I think you can accept that.
So I'm not sure if cNed actually popped his blade storm into the round. We'll see it, but it's something that we normally get in these eco round scenarios. Maybe saving it for a rainy day, or he did just pop it and I didn't notice. So yeah, he did. Okay, there you go. We didn't actually get to see it from his POV.
It's kind of like you see cNed, you're like, oh, he didn't get 4 kills that round? Probably didn't.
Yeah, he didn't use it. Well, he died. He didn't even get one. It's like, come on, he can't use his blade storm. That wouldn't make any sense. But after what was a 5-round streak, even with a couple of closer rounds, SMB are now back, and as said, that they are a team that have beaten the likes of Gambit 13-1. They can definitely streak rounds together on this map.
You should run.
Oh, most definitely. Now here's where they're going to try to get something done. This is the one round where you see Zeek playing very, very passive. He actually could have spammed that ult down from it being placed up on top of the box, but obviously he's conscious that they could put it behind it, and then that's not going to happen. So, they're going to have a big retake play from Acend, but they also have a lockdown to play with Tom.
One of their own. It still seems like maybe a little bit of confusion as the positions currently being taken. The wall boost for Turko might not necessarily be expected, but the afterplant's looking stellar. Again, you've got pAura waiting on the lurk. cNed already going to be dropped, and now we see the Cosmic Divide thrown in to try and separate these players. But if anything, they've just given a safe spot to Turko to just sit behind them. It is not going well at all for Acend in this round, and the afterplant looking incredible.
Yeah, starxo's trapped, not a chance of getting out of there. Very solid round from SuperMassive Blaze. I have to say, one thing that I found kind of odd was Russ used up his shock darts there right at the start. He was throwing them in when the spike was being planted, and obviously when you've got a lockdown on the other side, that's a big risk. It means you can't deal with them. But there is the counter to that of they then decided to play that super aggressive style. They wanted to get up in their face. They weren't waiting on the B site for them to come in and being like, oh, let's hope we can deal with it. No, they ran at them and seized all the space back. 5-4, and we had a tactical pause come out of SuperMassive Blaze, and since then, they've been looking pretty hot.
Yeah, since then, they haven't exactly been rocked, you could say, by what we've heard from the other side during that tactical pause. So maybe they'll get one of their own soon and take it a little bit more seriously. But for now, again, we're back to the pistols. Ultimate's in play, unlikely to have too much of an effect. Okay, Zeek actually just pops his Hunter's Fury straight away, looking to try and find them something into this round. Gets absolutely nothing for it. I'm very surprised by that usage, but hey, they've got an opener anyway.
Destroying that alarm bot there gave him away. They knew exactly where Turko was, tucked up in the corner. Great opening, but cNed's going to be punished. The return back, all they need to do is keep the range. And with the operator in hand, Izzy is easily able to dispatch these players on Acend. BONECOLD and Zeek, sheriffs in hand, hoping for a couple of headshots, but none to be landed just yet. This is going to be a tough fight in the corner. Surely they check it. Recon going to reveal. Oh, okay. Well, look, it's a sheriff round. It's a weak buy. But with pAura and Izzy being sub 20 HP, that's when you're definitely going to be kicking yourself about when you watch the VOD back.
Yeah, I'm still surprised though about the Hunter's Fury at the very beginning. Like it's one of those things where it's like I guess they spotted a couple of players at the top of mid, but I just don't really see the value of such an impactful ult just being utilized like that. It might be because when you're that Odin player, you don't necessarily want to be switching in rounds where you actually have the Odin available, but they don't have it here, so yeah, just a little bit peculiar. We've also got the Blade Storm and the Res currently online for SuperMassive Blaze, so 5-round streaks on either side. I wonder if we're finally going to get a combo breaker.
Let's see. The Acend have got it in them to take this one across the line. The operator of cNed on the other side of the map. SuperMassive Blaze have managed to dodge it, but look at all that killjoy utility. There's stars everywhere. There's nano swarms, there's alarm bots, there's absolutely everything they could hope for, and those stars actually give the cover to avoid being oh, 2 players were spotted. They know underneath, and they're going to try to spam them into the open, not looking for the kill. They're trying to open space for Izzy to get frags with the op. The Hunter's Fury wasn't supposed to kill, just to reposition, but both shots miss. Izzy then pops the ultimate, moves towards the site, but he's pushed back right into the hands of starxo, waiting for him. The kills are going their way, though. SuperMassive Blaze here to fight and here to win with 50 seconds on the clock. They still need to deal with starxo, and he's bringing this back into the realm of possibility for Acend. The timing so poor, and he just about gets taken down.
Turko as well is already watching this flank. It was everything for Zeek to get that kill, but they had him sandwiched in. And now the only one remaining is cNed to try and face off. Well, I was going to say versus 4, but it's now down to 3, and Turko will put him in his place. SMB take the lead after... I still can't believe they're 5-0 down. 6 in a row. Just took them a little bit of time to get off the mark, and now they're looking unbelievable.
Now you see exactly what we were talking about towards the start of this series, when we said that Acend winning the pistol, getting that third round on the board and so on was so important.
I've got a point on that.
Go for it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, BONECOLD got 2 kills in the pistol.
Got 2 kills on the pistol. I can't remember.
I think he
back
did.
that far.
I don't think he's had a single kill since the pistol round.
Wow. Considering the form that he was on towards the end of Bind, that is a disappointing statistic to hear. And credit to SuperMassive Blaze for just shutting him down so consistently. That tag comes in, but it could have been a little bit awkward if it was a second earlier. Izzy on that operator's definitely been struggling in a couple of these rounds. Now up against the pistols yet again. Like, this is a forced buy from Acend, obviously because it's the last round of the half, but they still couldn't get anything much out. In fact, not a single rifle to fight for 6-6.
Well, let's see if BONECOLD can change things a little bit. He's watching for the wall boost up, but never mind. His head's been taken off anyway. Again, they have a couple of players around to try and just lock it down, but starxo would have to go absolutely ham. He does have his res available to him to bring a teammate back, but if anything, he goes for that now. Teammate dead again. Yeah,
I mean, he'd be dead before he even got to the body. That's the thing. And I think he's just been spotted. Yes, he has. There's the tag on the wall. You see, they're saying he's close right, and Brave is going to take it down. In comes the Ares, but not good for those kind of fights. This is looking like a guaranteed 7 for SuperMassive Blaze. A hero is needed, and it's not cNed this time around. It falls to Kiles. He's been huge before, and they know he's going for the lockdown. They're going to push him down right away. Kiles deals with them. Lockdown popped. Now he just needs to hold on to this position. There's no one coming in through heaven.
They've got one too.
They've popped their own. They're going to be happy to keep him locked in position. In fact, he's going to push right afterwards. He's still looking for kills. He's taking down the first, swapping over the weapon, going to go and destroy it, and he gets it done as well. The other player's backed off. This could actually be huge. One player even got detained. Down goes the turret. He taps the defuse. It's all a ruse, trying to bait them into the open, and eventually he does. Unfortunately,
that was a nice try.
That's his end. Very nice try. In fact, the Spectre in a 1v4, hey, he almost got that done.
Yeah, no, I'm really surprised he got anywhere near as close as he actually did, but hey, nice attempt. He's had a pretty good half as well. I think it is just BONECOLD. He's having a rough one. Definitely doing incredibly well in their pistol rounds. You never know, maybe this is why BONECOLD will get him another one.
Maybe. Double up on the kills. Let's see what they can do. SuperMassive Blaze getting aggressive, but cNed's here to play. The dash didn't quite go according to plan, but the kills certainly did. They don't expect it. And Russ is able to take down 2. That makes it doable. BONECOLD on 20 HP, but a big clutch from Turko. This guy has been insane so far, Tom. This might be too much to ask, though.
Yeah, especially with the thing is, this is a position that Turko also used in the last half. So if he gets fooled by his own tactic, I might be a little bit disappointed. The fact is that I don't know if it's actually going to be starxo that does anything here, because there are players holding the cross. BONECOLD going to be watching and will spot out his position. No, he's not coming in from behind. And now it just leaves this disgusting crossfire, even going to pull in a star and a turret to try and leave him out. And although he does check, he was aware.
He was.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, well, there were 3 players to deal with and an Astra Star right below him, so he didn't really have a choice on that one. Also, great use of the Astra Stars to just run down the clock when it came to putting it on top of the wall that you're seeing right there on the right side. When you put it up there, it's a one-way. He's not going to run through that and get shot from sight, so instead he has to wait a couple of seconds before it fades away. It's 7-6, another pistol round for Acend, and we often say, Tom, if you win both pistols, your chances of winning the map go up pretty significantly.
Yeah, no, it will put you in an incredibly good spot normally. It's just not normal that the case of your opponents winning 7 rounds in a row.
True.
So,
very true.
You know what? It's a little bit of a different scenario. It's actually crazy that Russ, I think he actually headshot someone through someone else and almost gets himself an extra kill in that round. So he did his best, but realistically, this round, Mitch, not expecting much.
No, not really. They know that there's a player towards the back of the site. Russ is going to be dealt with immediately. That drone had spotted him out. The dash is ambitious at best from Izzy. And this is going as expected. We're looking good for a Prime Gaming Flawless. And let's see if that comes through. Indeed, it does. Kiles farming up a bunch of orbs along with starxo. They're now looking pretty hot, coming into 7-7.
Honestly, I'm surprised you didn't jinx that. Like, you calling a flawless
Calling
before it even happened.
Why not?
It's a bold play,
gotta roll the dice,
to say the least. But hey, we're gonna get a replay, a wonderful graphic from it as well. And I've really been enjoying Kiles in this map, actually. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like he's almost like the jack of all trades for the team. Like, he'll pick up a lot of different roles. Even in the previous iteration of the roster, you'd see him on Reyna sometimes, on Icebox, getting a little bit more aggressive. But he's done very well in a lot of rounds to almost just either make it incredibly costly, or in this case, get himself ever closer to that ultimate, which, as we saw in the last half for pAura, was incredibly impactful.
The one big disappointment for me from SuperMassive Blaze has been Russ. He swapped skins. He's no longer using the Elder Flame like the rest of the team. So, you know, really, team synergy suffers there. But jokes aside, we're looking at a pretty aggressive push out of Acend. Into a smoke they went, and, well, they didn't get anything done for it. Brave quickly shutting them down before he falls himself. But that was a blink and you miss it kind of round.
Yeah, an aggressive push coming through from Brave into their own smoke, and well, as that lone Phantom player, he can spray through those smokes no issue without them really knowing exactly where he is.
Man, BONECOLD's really not having a good game right now, is he? I mean, we know his Brimstone is world class. You saw his Lurk gameplay when it came to the previous map. He was able to do so much, but right now, man, I mean, the Astra on this map kind of surprised me because he was always playing the Omen, right? You were always looking for those. I mean, just the paranoia alone has so much impact, but it also is very similar to what he'd be doing with the Brim. And now, well, the change-up, it's definitely had impact. You definitely see the Astra stars coming in some critical moments, but I don't know if it's worth the trade-off.
Yeah, I feel like as well, a lot of the sort of top Astras that we see within the world at the moment are ones that are able to play incredibly well around their own utility and find a lot of impact and frags from it. So the fact that, yeah, Joyce is meant to be more of that supportive agent, I don't even feel like it flies when you're playing Astra so much.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now look at this. Opening kill has come through with pAura falling. pAura, another player, has been so pivotal. cNed wasn't sure if there was a little gap there. Now, going to be looking for some picks, operator in hand, but Brave is falling down on shore. With him out, the side is completely theirs. Acend will be able to get a nice and easy plant and hold on to a 5 versus 3. And yeah, I'm with you, Tom. This looks like a textbook save from SuperMassive Blaze. Looking at this scenario, they are starting to hit that W key a little bit.
Yeah, they legitimately have nothing to get them back into the round. Drone already utilized. Sure, they could try and scan a player or two and maybe find them through the wall, but other than that, you're just going to be throwing weaponry into the wind. And on the other side of things, like, yeah, sure, a fair bit of the utility's already been deployed as well, but I don't think you're going to break this after plant. And for SuperMassive Blaze, you just want to keep the economy strong. Make sure you can come back into the next round. Maybe get an operator for Izzy. He's someone on this map in particular is incredibly good at taking map control away from opponents on the defense. So I want to see that come into play at some point.
I like that. Yeah, there we go. It's a small thing, but I just heard the players. I'm not sure if the guys at home, if y'all on Twitch, YouTube, wherever you might be watching, I'm not sure if you will have heard it. The guys on Acend, they hit a big woo. You know, they're getting hyped. They're really pulling it. And I just saw pAura then like kind of look up and go, woo. He just returned it a little bit. Keep the energy up. And a nice round for Acend to get them back on the horse.
I think that's the cool thing about both of these teams is that there's a lot of mutual respect between them. Like, especially
you saw it in the press conference yesterday. I mean, Riv was saying earlier that they just, every time someone was asked, like, yo, you guys, you got a rivalry like G2 Sentinels, what does it feel like? And they're like, I don't know, man, I think it's just social media. We got a lot of love for each other. Oh. What?
Okay, there you go. BONECOLD's back on the board. He's found himself a kill straight through the wall. Now, do they expect the re-aggression of Russ? In fact, they're almost going to try and completely ignore him. BONECOLD finds another one. It's all fallen apart. This B-main aggression, something they attempted in the pistol, and it failed then as well, Mitch. They now have Brave to try and hold on to this site, and well, with the utility that's currently available, he can't even afford to like shoulder peek this because he'll get sucked in.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for Brave. I mean, a 1v5 versus Acend, not something you're likely to see come through, and so it looks like we're seeing yet another save, at least be postured for. He'll take a few exits if he can get them, but for the most part, it's going to be a fairly drawn-out round with not a lot happening. The door is even closed, so he can't even catch an angle. And so playing for the exits is the right call. The problem is getting into position for an exit. If he was to actually try and get behind B main, cNed is staring at that with an operator, and they even have spawn flank covered by starxo. There's literally nowhere that he can surprise them from.
Yeah, and his teammate already died from that operator facing into mid, so like, if he was to push that, he'd have to be a little bit of a maniac, and I don't think, out of all the players on this team, I almost feel like Brave is like the calm within the storm, which is quite interesting considering he is the youngest as well. Yeah. Like the player who literally turned 18 today, I believe. I think that was said on the desk earlier. So happy birthday, Brave. I hope that your gift is you get to keep your gun this round.
Well, let's see if it is. Let's see if Acend are feeling generous. Maybe that's what was happening on the previous map. They were throwing through Vandals saying like, hey, you know what? Give it to Brave. It's his birthday. Little present for him. Well, the spike's gonna blow up. Take on Radianite.
I wonder if they'll attempt that B push again at any point, because they've now attempted it in the pistol and in this round, and in both times they've walked into every single member of Acend, and it's gone incredibly badly. So I would almost say that this is one of those pushes that maybe you have a bit of a peek coming out from Izzy with the dash available, but other than that, I feel like it's just not worth it anymore. Like Acend seem to love to lock that position down very early on in the round.
Yeah, oh, they definitely do. But look at this, at the start of this round, Acend are shifting their focus towards the A site, and so are SuperMassive Blaze. With 3 players here and a one-way smoke coming through, they're going to try to not just... Oh, they've been spotted. Oh, they have 4 players here, 3 have been seen, and that's going to be Acend backing off. There's no way they commit to it.
Yeah, at this point, I'm almost starting to wonder if they have some sort of pact. Where it's like, we go B and then we go A.
We ride together, we die together.
We're going to fight each other there, but this is a lot of control already being taken. Locking down mid, we know that the only man holding on is going to be pAura. Now, we mentioned it before, he is incredibly good with his pistol. He's found an angle, but Zeek is more than aware. We've seen... The From the Shadows actually used to TP into the back of the site, but it doesn't matter. The site's gone.
God, Brave just got domed. The first was nice, the second unreasonable. The lockdown comes into effect. Plant can be secured towards the back of the site, and this is where SuperMassive Blaze normally would be considering a save. That's been heard. starxo knows full well that there are players barreling around middle. That was not an easy fight to take, not expecting him to be running past like that. For Turko, I think saving is definitely on the cards, although I notice he's the closest player, and now up on top of the... Oh, if that hit, I would have banned him. We'd have to hit the button right away. That was a disgusting attempt. They'll get him in the end. 10-day map.
Oh.
Well.
I don't think that was a pause. They've gone straight into the round.
Oh, good.
We'll just see what happens in this one. Already looking a little bit better for SuperMassive Blaze. Maybe they didn't need the pause after all.
Yeah, they didn't need the tactics. It looks like they're looking pretty clean in the 4 versus 2. cNed and Zeek trying to pull it back. Operator on cNed hopes to find a victim. Gonna bait them out with the shot. He's seeing nothing right now. It's a pretty tough one. You know, obviously when you're on the attack for Acend right now, losing this round isn't going to be the end of the world. They've built up quite a hefty bank. But SuperMassive Blaze really need to win this in a relatively clean fashion, and they have so far. And then they... Okay, that's a trade. That's good. He got that kill so quickly onto Zeek. My God. Another cNed clutch needed, and although he's reliable when it comes to the EMEA region for making those clutch plays, he's up again. They need to go back to the drawing board, and this is where their coach gets to input quite a bit.
Yeah, he's been given the chance to do it. Zeek will get Mitch very excited. Let's go. Bought himself an Odin on the attacker side, and actually for now was facing it to mid. I imagine he was just lining up a little bit of utility, trying to force some players out of position with the drone. And again, we're going to see the wall actually this time being put down. I like this a little bit better. As I said, the aggression into this side of the map has been a failure so far for SuperMassive Blaze.
Get the big guns out. Let's go, Zeek. Here's the recon. That's going to reveal the player down in the alley and give Zeek an opportunity. In fact, Turko manages to just sneak his way down and avoid getting tagged on up. That could have been a disaster otherwise. Now, this is definitely going to be a split into the B side, at least for now. The spike is being left all the way towards their spawn. They are allowing Kiles to hold on to control there with his turret and then rotate late. But it looks like, yeah, they are going to commit.
I almost wondered if they were going to try and fake things out a little bit. Like
they sort of have with the time.
The same utility. The problem, though, is SuperMassive Blaze haven't fallen for it. They've still got 3 players within this site. Now, the Cosmic Divide will at least give them a chance to section out some of these players, but they need to try and catch some of the remainder before they can take the site.
Boathouse blocked, and now it's time to rush into the site, taking the fights as they go, but down goes the Odin. Zeek dealt with. Izzy pops out with the Blade Storm for some close-range fights. We call that one a Sean Gares. He's whiffed it completely as we go into the 3v3 with very little time. Acend can't really get that spike planted. How are they going to be able to close in the distance? They need the kills so quickly. BONECOLD, good for it, but time is gone. The round already SuperMassive Blazes, you would have imagined, but that last kill at the last
they
second.
Got you. They got you.
I'm seeing 4 seconds left. I'm like, oh, it's done, it's dusted. But they just about managed to pull it off. 11-9, and that's one of those rounds where SuperMassive Blaze have got to be kicking themselves, man. They did everything right. They delayed it, and it's the player who was doing nothing the whole way along. BONECOLD must have went 12 rounds in a row without a kill, and he turns up right when he needs to.
Well, yeah, and also Kiles started that on the other side of the map and then ended up getting the final frag for them as well. I love that. You were completely...
I was sold 100%. I'm like, there must be someone somewhere, guys, right? No?
No. They were all within that V site at the end, and they all got taken out.
And the time was gone as well. Like, literally, if that player stayed Boathouse, they won off time. That's one of those things, man. Try to play with your teammates, and it's the wrong decision. That's why I always bait. It doesn't work.
I'm not going to disagree with that. Not going to disagree with what you just said. But an early couple of trades. A 4 versus 4 weaponry is in the bin for SuperMassive Blaze. They've got themselves a Marshall, a couple of SMGs, but they have managed to find themselves an opener. Now, their A-site hold has definitely been the better of the two. The problem is they don't really have much space around it. They do, however, have the Killjoy ult.
That they do. That's going to buy them a lot of time. Delaying it down, that mid-peak. Great shot by Izzy, a Marshall in hand. Only one shot if he hits the heady, and that he most certainly does. starxo has spotted a player dropping down, the Marshall poking and prodding at him. Hopefully the slow will be enough to keep him back. As starxo closes the distance, pAura thinks he's gone undetected.
He has?
Did he? Okay, there we go. He'll eventually be taken down. That could have been incredibly awkward. Backside, look how low Russ is. With a res coming in, they do not want to lose Russ down below. Oh, that bullet! It went right by his face. They know he's there. They've taken him out, and now the res, luckily, has put them into a 2v3. But a tough one, as again, time could have been the enemy, but the spike will be planted.
Oh, they've got their own lockdown, try and deny them the initial push, but they're just going for it. They're going to try and run through, and starxo is there. Things down. Late defaults, late pushes into the site. We even saw they should have lost a round on time moments ago, and in the round before, a round after even, they planted with 10 seconds left.
Turko is feeling it right now, wants to get aggressive. The turret hasn't spotted him up close. That's a nasty angle, and one that almost definitely won't be expected. These players are worried about the guy in main, but now they've spotted him. The dash used up by cNed, burned up in the early stages. They've got the kill, and they're going to continue hunting him down. At least for a moment they were. Man advantage. They called a tactical timeout just before this. Acend letting SuperMassive Blaze sit in it, and now they'll run the clock down and do much of the same.
Yeah, is he actually on a bulldog? That's not something I ever would think of with that man, at least. Like the Marshall in the previous round, able to do quite a bit. We'll see if he can have the same success. Again, though, it's looking fairly all in from Acend.
Yeah.
All waiting outside.
It's the right call.
3 players on this site. If they can trade effectively, sure, it's going to go great, but they need to shut this man down early, and that's exactly what they do.
Great kill onto Izzy, now tucked in the corner. It's even expected. They were pre-firing and spraying away. pAura, the last man alive, and they'll bring Zeek right back into the round, bought back by the res. This is an almost unwinnable clutch. In fact, pAura's got the worst weapon of them all. We saw a weapon here or there, some Spectres, but this man only has the Sheriff. Sure. He can do a lot with it, but in a 1v4, the pack mentality of Acend, there's so much to deal with here. And yeah, the turret is going to be problem number 1, 13-9.